How you doing?
I'm good. I'm all right. Thank you.
I can tell. Just be smiling everywhere. I like it. That's the kind of energy I want to see.
Of course.
Even though people will say, "Bele no be show glass," we'll just smile first. Smile first.
I truth talk with that.
All right. You're welcome on the newspaper review. Do have to join us by sending us your comments, your contributions, or reactions to the issues we're going to be discussing, or the headlines we're going to be rolling out. Send them to us on 070 317 565 37 070 317 565 37. And now we have a lot of headlines making the rounds this morning. Interesting headlines. I'm very sure when you hear some of them, you're going to be like, really? So without wasting any more time, let's go into the headlines. And I'll be starting off with the Punch. On the Punch newspapers, NAPTIP demands more funding to tackle trafficking. Talk to sponsors of violence, Buhari tells Catholic bishops. How corruption fuels building collapse in Nigeria. Nigerians miserable under Buhari, global index shows. Activist threatens to sue Buhari over immigration service boss tenure extension. Malami under fire for receiving 135 million naira and car gifts. Over to the Vanguard newspapers.
Over to the Vanguard. Group plays incidences of violations, attacks on press by security agents. Nigeria needs men of integrity at this moment. This is according to Obasanjo. Obaseki Ehanire seek increased private partnership to improve healthcare system. School feeding program, quality nutrition, taking kids off the streets is our goal. Minister. Joint security forces neutralize bandits in Rafi local government area of Niger State. Over to the Guardian.
On the Guardian newspapers, Abiodun once against acts capable of truncating peace and harmony in Ogun State. IGP upgrades police database for enhanced forensic investigation. Methodist Church laments socio-economic situation nationwide. Group flags incidences of violation attacks on press by security agents. Peter Obi stresses need to replace sharing with production formula. Over to the Nation newspapers.
The Nation, suspected drug baron imports 22 billion naira tramadol in 1 month. Stop attacking our personnel, Loma warns. Jack Rich joins presidential race. El Rufai, simultaneous bombing of forest can end banditry. Nigeria does not need wealthy consumers as leaders, says Peter Obi. Olawekpo Hashim joins presidential race.
So when are you picking up your ticket? Because it seems like everybody's picking up everybody.
You know what? I'm going to hold off on that. I want to see how it plays out here first.
Honestly, because everybody's picking up the form, everybody's picking up the tickets.
I want to see how it plays out. Maybe the best man win.
Oh, definitely.
A woman.
Definitely.
For sure.
Over to the These Days newspaper. Stop treating terrorists with kid gloves. Stop treating terrorists with kid gloves. Unleash full force on them. Anglican Church tells federal government. Formula milk promoters out to discourage breastfeeding. World Health Organization alleges. Social conflict threatening ECOWAS integration objectives, says Buhari. Nigeria looks to Canada for emergency potash supply to replace
freed after 2 months. MDLEA uncovers 22 billion naira tramadol linked to drug baron Ukatu. Ekiti Rapture pastor under investigation, please. World Press Freedom Day. Nigerian journalists decry worsening conditions. Fire raises INEC office in Zamfara.
And on the pen-pushing newspapers, finally, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres arrives Nigeria on a 2-day official visit. Abiola's son wants father's death probe. And these are the headlines making the round this morning across different Nigerian newspapers. Do have to send us your comments, be a part of the conversation this morning. We'll really love for you to be a part of the conversation. Send us your comments, your contributions, reactions on 070 317 565 37 070 317 565 37. And we have been joined in now by our first analyst for the morning, Buki Femi Ajala. Good morning, Buki.
Yes, good morning, Esther. And then good morning, dear listeners.
Yes, I also have something.
Oh, something's there. Yes. Wow, that's nice. Something. Good morning.
Good morning, Buki.
Yes, I was not saying, to greet our listeners. I mean, they're back to work now.
Yes, everybody's back to work.
After the Muslim festival and also the Workers' Day. So, well, Nigeria is going to be good. Welcome. Good morning.
Yes,
Good morning,
thank you so
thank
much for
you.
joining us, Buki. Let's start off with this one on the Punch newspapers. And this one says, Nigerians miserable under Buhari Global Index shows. And now, according to the statistics from Hank's Annual Misery Index, Nigerians were more miserable in 2021 than they were in 2020. Now, according to this report, which analyzed 156 countries by calculating their unemployment rates, inflation, prevailing lending rates, and GDP growth, Nigeria went from 15th amongst the most miserable countries in the world's ranking in 2022 to 11th in 2021. And first off, the basis on which this analysis was done: unemployment rates, inflation, prevailing lending rates, GDP growth. When you look at these are things that we actually talk about in Nigeria that we want to see get better. But for Nigeria to be ranked as 11th most miserable country in the world, Buki, this is a very, very sad analysis for us as a country.
Okay. Yes, it is. But what worries me is the fact that all these statistics and data that people reel out, by authorities, I sincerely doubt it if it makes sense to the so-called people that are supposed to shape Nigeria with the policies. A single policy can multiply the effects you see, either positive or it's negative.
Okay.
We are not surprised that the misery index is this. If you look around you, how many people are happy? How many people, can categorically say that, oh, I'm in a state of happiness? What has been helping us is the faith we have in God. And that is why we find out that religious organizations, they are helping in that regard to say, keep at it, have faith in God. But beyond that, there's nothing. Even the so-called people that you think they are well to do, they are not. They are really struggling. And if you look at it, what makes the misery index? Unemployment. Today we are talking about 33.3%. That is 1/3. So every three Nigerians you see, one of them is not employed. By the time you even add underemployment rate, we are talking about 50. That is the job you are doing. You can do better, but because of the poverty level. Right. Inflation, what is it today? Hovering around 15-16%. Is that what is going to sustain us? Look at the lending rates in the banks. 2 digits. How will business people make money? Combined with the effect of there is no power, they have to buy diesel. And then, of course, there are some hidden costs, a lot of corruption. To do this, you have to inflate. So how are they going to make money? And then, of course, you go to our GDP growth. What is our GDP growth? Today, we are still struggling with GDP. Now, in terms of welfare, many advanced countries do not even use the GDP anymore. They also support it with the SDG goals. And if you look at the SDG goals, it talks about the welfare. If we're able to move up drastically on our rating for SDG, you find out that our misery index, somewhere along the line, it will go up. Why are we talking about this? Our SDG goal, even for poverty, hunger, good health, education, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know we're talking about 17 goals. But let us even look at everything together. Esther, do you know that out of 162 countries, Nigeria occupies 159th position when you're talking about SDG goals. On a scale of 0 to 100,
100.
we are 46.4%. Yeah. So the question that we should be asking ourselves is, all this data that is in front of our policymakers, how are they making use of it? How are they making use of it? They've been talking about this mystery index since. Let us even talk about unemployment. What exactly are they doing? What policy, what framework have they brought to tackle it? Talking about even the lending rate, even our GDP, our production. We are a consuming nation. What policy, what framework that have they brought out that is effective? So I'm not saying that they don't have. They have all kinds of documents. They have all kinds of documents. So those documents, are they just on the file, packing dust, or they are being implemented? And if they are being implemented, are they effective? And if they are implemented, but they are in the hands of the wrong people, that's another factor. Because you might have a good strategy, but culture, like we normally say, culture will eat up your strategy. The people that are in charge of it, do they have the interest of the nation at heart to ensure that these things are done? Of course, most of them don't. There are good policies in Nigeria, I must tell you. But the issue is the people who are handling it. Not all the policies, but some, the people that are handling it, they are bad managers. And there are some policies that, dead on arrival, it will not increase poverty at all.
Buki, talking about unemployment. So I think last week some Nigerian youth had to go to National Assembly for the speedy passage of the Nigeria Startup Bill. And this bill has passed second reading and is actually supposed to help create job opportunities for young people and decent tax revenue for the government. If bills and they are actually being looked into past, anything we have issues with is implementation. Implementation and consistency, because fine, it's one thing to implement it, but to be consistent in it and deliver quality service is another issue entirely, Buki.
You see, I will not even say implementation, because there is a factor that is making you not to implement. If you see something very good, Esther, would you not implement it? So all those things that we are talking about, I know many times we saw, the will to implement, the execution and all that, but you see beyond that, the people in charge, I can tell you, the interest of the nation is not there. That's it. It's not there. They are just playing to the gallery, because look at all the good policies we have. What have they done concerning it? As of today, we are talking about unemployment. You know, it also has a hand in education. Where's education now? How many children are we talking about that they are out of school? We are talking about ASU. Now, Ngige and the Minister of Education, they are gallivanting about the whole place, politicking towards 2023. They have not solved a major problem in Nigeria. They're not for that we get, except if they are saying something that we are not getting. But that is what we are getting. And then let's talk about vocation. How many institutions do we have in terms of vocational studies? Let us even take it out of that. In a country, it's the SMEs that thrive. We talk about China today. You understand? SMEs are the ones that are driving it. So let us look at our SME here. How many SMEs, can stand the test of time after 3 years? Because you don't even have the policy framework to help. You talk about the startup policy. Even without that, let us look at a typical SME. Look at the amount of challenges that person has. Is it road? Is it logistics? Is it light? You understand? And then, of course, even manpower, because everybody wants to be paid well. But because of the ripple effect, you cannot pay. That is why you find that as a graduate today, somebody is saying that I'm going to pay you 15K as a graduate. So there is a whole lot of somebody who has a national interest to sit down, to say this is the way we are going to go. Let's even define how we want Nigeria to be first. Then who are the drivers? I keep talking about this book, Good to Great, because though I know, yes, it's for companies, but we can also lay claim on it. It talks about who is the person driving first. Who is that person?
Okay.
Who is that person? And then the people who are in the bus with him or her, the lieutenant, the team, the team that is being put together. Who are they? What are their values? Do they have national interest at heart? Yesterday, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, I was looking at Invictus, the story about Mandela, how he was able to turn around South Africa. And, you could see some pieces. Despite the fact that he was coming from a state of hurt. When he became president, there are many things he changed. And one of the things that I want to talk about is the fact that he left personal interest and he made national interest top priority. Top priority. How many of the people that have shown their face and those that are ruling us? Because you will know by what they are doing. That's it. In Yoruba they say Finiwa. There's no way. You will know that they are doing things.
All right.
Even if you do not know, statistics will show you that we are improving. But we just talked about the mystery index. 2015, now they're down. So something is wrong somewhere.
All right, thank you very much, Buki. We really hope that all of this is being looked into, because having our unemployment rate at 3.3% and inflation is rising, all of this, our debt profile is actually not a pleasant thing to actually talk about when you look at it. It's not at all in any way, shape, or form. It is 11 minutes to 8 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is the Newspaper Review. The Newspaper Review is where we review and analyze the dailies across different Nigerian newspapers, and you're welcome to join the conversation. Send us your comments, your reactions on 070 317 56537. 070-317-56537. All right, Tomto.
Okay. So I'm looking at this one on The Guardian, and I'm just picked a little bit.
Okay.
So the headline says, IGP upgrades police database for enhanced forensic investigation. Basically, I'll read the first part and just paraphrase the others. Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, has upgraded the Nigerian Police Crime and Incident Database, NPC and IDB Center, to enhance investigations and strategic operational and tactical planning. The improved platform would in turn facilitate easy identification of suspects, crime location, modus operandi, global positioning system, and geolocate crimes, among others. So basically, the last part says this is as a result of criminals that are now their own technology and they now apply technology, and now this is as a result of that. Bear in mind that this center was commissioned by the president. It has just been newly upgraded by the IGP
in 2022.
Now, my own question now, because in all of this, and I'm looking at all these so-called benefits, easy identification of suspects, crime location,
sounds nice.
GPS and all of that. It looks good on paper. Now, Buki, this is my own question to you. Though it looks good on paper, do you think that this will help to decrease criminal activities in Nigeria and directly affect the crime rate and the level of insecurity in Nigeria? Kidnapping, banditry, all of that, because all that is still under crime.
And also training of this security operatives on how to use this because
equipment.
It's not just enough to upgrade the center, but we actually want to see people using this thing. In other crimes, other countries, even in movies, you see the way cases are being investigated, people follow through. Look at the case of Hush Puppy all the way.
Yes.
And you were able to track somebody to another country. These are the kind of things we want to see, not even within the country, and we have to do, or come back to the police station tomorrow, or we have to follow you there, you have to pay for fuel and all of these things. No, we don't want any of those conversations anymore.
So do you think this would directly affect the rate of insecurity and crime in Nigeria? And do you think the police are equipped with the knowledge on how to use this equipment?
Okay, I can see three parts. Let's see how we can do justice to it.
All right. Okay.
I will still refer back to this book, Good to Great. It talked about the fact that technology is just an accelerator. What do I mean by that? If there is a process in place and you want to accelerate it, it helps you to accelerate. And we know what the common computer has done for us. If you want to add 1 billion and another maybe 100 million, 200 and something, you don't have to begin to do it. The computer has done it because somebody has programmed it. So where am I going? Even if we do not have technology, I mean by the needful, we will still combat all these menaces that you have mentioned. That's the truth. Why do I say that? We're looking at the bandit system or the kidnapping system. Do you know there's a system in place? There are doctors that go in there to help them. There are technicians that go in there to help them. There are food vendors. They live in a community. They ride motorcycles. Somebody is selling, somebody is repairing. They are buying fuel. And all of this, nobody is talking. Nobody is talking. Look at kidnapping. It is now business. Cash is being transmitted. Some of these things land in the banking system, which you can actually trace even without using sophisticated technology. So where am I going? I give kudos to them for upgrading the center. That is what they are supposed to do, because we are now moving light years ahead with technology. We cannot afford to do anything now with technology. But you see, technology is more like garbage in, garbage out. If you do not have the right spirit in using this platform, you will not get anything out of it. But if we have the right people manning it, with the right interest, with national interest at that yes, I want to knock this thing on the board. You can do it. Why am I saying this? Let me use an example. The people that were funding the Lekki toll gate, what's the period that they were able to get their accounts out? We are still talking about people that Dubai, Emirates had mentioned, and I think United States, I'm not too sure, had listed the people that are funding Boko Haram, terrorism. What have they done? They have listed their names. We are yet to get anything. Maybe they are doing something at their level, but we are yet to read anything about it. So if you know all these things and you don't have the national interest at heart, before you know what is happening, those equipments will not be used, they'll be tampered with. And before you know what is happening, they'll come back again to say they want to upgrade, and it's going to cost so. We saw what the revelation about the train when Amechi now came out to say, I told them that they should buy one app. And then by the time people investigated, it was a company that was just newly incorporated. And it was an issue of, are you sure this company has a track record? So these are the people ruling us. So for me, this equipment thing is a big deal. In fact, if one should even analyze it, They even need to upgrade more. But the issue is, who are the people operating it?
Very important question.
And then, do we have national interest at heart in doing these things?
Mm-hmm.
You see, in terms of knowledge, in terms of the people, would they be knowledgeable enough to handle these things? I can tell you where we are in Nigeria. We don't even have to hire people outside. We don't even have to bring people from outside. The knowledge that we have here, if they are well trained, I can tell you our youth can handle it. If they are well
When it comes to
trained.
technology, yes.
When it comes to technology, we don't need to bring any expert from anywhere. All they just need is just to train them. There are some, there are centers around, no doubt about that. There are centers around that we know, the CCTV center and all things and all that. They are there. But the issue is the spirit behind it genuine? Because they can help track quite a lot of things. We've been talking about using the drones, to locate and all that. Yes, they can do all that. But are they willing to do that?
Buki, there's a question here as regards to this particular matter of discourse, and this message here is from Abiola in Ikeja, and it says, the IGP should ask himself, do we have this technology to combat insecurity across the country? Or is it just in one region, one place? Do we have it across the country? I was just going through the messages and I saw this one.
Okay, well, at least I know that the center that was wherever I was in Abuja. I also had that thought when I was reading it. I said it should not just be located in one place. Now they should begin to spread it across. They should begin to spread it at least some strategic locations. But to be honest, if you have one powerful station, and your drones are working perfectly, you can always interpret. Like we were talking about 100 motorcycle or 200 motorcycle moving at the same time. Wherever you are, you will pick it up. I can tell you something for probably some people to understand that these things work. I know of an app that's a particular airline, in Nigeria, they're using. And the app is online, is on the spot. It can tell you where the aeroplane that is still flying is. And then if there's an issue with that aeroplane, wherever it is in Nigeria, they can track that location. And then when he's in the airport, stationary, you can track. So technology has gone beyond, all what you need just do now is to imagine what you want and you can get it done.
All right. Thank you very much, Buki.
Once they have a very good, powerful station in one place, they can actually cover.
All right. Thank you so much, Buki, for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I just want to leave a ray of hope, for everyone listening. I know that if we take personal responsibility for our sphere of influence, yes, we can always point to our leaders, but the three fingers are pointing back at us. So wherever you are, you take responsibility, be the change you want to be.
Yes.
If I light my candle, you light your candle, everybody lights their candle. Before you know what is happening, Nigeria will be a lead country. So in wrapping up, I know Nigeria is going to be safe, Nigeria is going to be changed, and Nigeria is going to be good. Let's have a beautiful day.
All right. Thank you so much, Buki. Thank you, Buki. And yes, that was Buki Femi Ajala, who spoke to Buki Femi Ajala on the first segment of the newspaper review. And we are going to be joined in very soon by Nkechi Emmanuel Layode Sejna, who is going to be joining us on the newspaper review. It is 8 o'clock, and this is the newspaper review on Women Radio WFM 91.7. The newspaper review is where we get to review and analyze the dailies across different Nigerian newspapers. My name is Esther Alaribe, and I have with me Somtu Titilayo Ajama. We just spoke to Buki Femi Ajala, and we're going to be joined in by Nkechi Emmanuel Layode Sejna. Before we get joined in by Nkechi this morning, let's take some of your messages. This one is from Gabi Ojo, and it says, will the pastor take people to heaven, dead or alive? And this is the case of the pastor who wanted people to pay to take them to heaven or something. I really don't know how people believe that. I really don't know. Mr. Wale in Peace Estates, Ipaja, is saying, good morning, newspaper review crew. Good morning. President Muhammadu Buhari should not be telling us to talk to terrorists or their sponsors because they did not ask for our votes. He said we should vote for him and he will do the needful. God bless Nigeria. Another message here says, good morning, presenter. Good morning to you too. Nigerians are known for making unfulfilled promises, and the appointed park manager by the Lagos state government has made one to the commissioner of police of the state. The tiger will never change its skin. More destruction of lives and property are on the way from this glorified thugs and miscreants in Lagos. We really don't want a case of any of that, please. Another message here is from Chooks, and this one says, the current Minister of Justice has been highly controversial from the onset of his appointment. The presidential pardoning of the looters of public and private funds should and must be reversed for the interest of this generation and the one yet unborn. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Titi, and our analysts for the morning. Thank you so much, Chooks. Another message here coming in from Rosendia Mutinelakpere says, the noise for zoning will become unnecessary when we build good followers. That good followership, there will be plenty of mutual trust amongst the leaders, and that will lead to the extent that it will not matter wherever the leader comes from. We need urgent revamp of the individuals in families, as it is a total shamble. He also went on to say, Africans seems to be the easiest to dupe as individuals and governments. Imagine a pastor promising his church members of taking them to heaven by himself for a whooping sum of 310,000 naira. We will never stop looking for miracles and continue to lose our hard to fraudsters and herbalists parading themselves as God deputies. So many messages here, and you're just wondering if all of these thoughts are going through people's mind. You can just imagine what it feels like being on the street. Keep your text and WhatsApp messages coming in on 070-317-56537. We're being joined in now by our analyst for this segment, Nkechi Emmanuel Layode Signal. Good morning, Signal. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, Esther. Good morning. Good morning to everybody in the studio and our newspaper review family.
Yes.
I do have something to find the messages, if you will, before I go on to whatever headline you want me to take. The messages, at least maybe the last that I really heard, or last three, were really sharp. And I want to speak to the one that was speaking about the 310,000, or even if it's 1 million to go afresh, or 10,000, or whatever the money price is. One of the reasons why the person was saying that, of course, the person was just sharing his own opinion of how this kind of things still affect Africans. And when you go, this is just one of the cases that have come up in Nigeria. It happens, it's very rampant in many African nations. Many, if you go on YouTube, many countries in Africa where the partner will be dating them or what's not. It is important, and it is because of one of the things that some Africans are still suffering from is they're not in the colonial era anymore, but the way that they have been taught, because some of these people, it's not like they were in the colonial era when the colonization was going on. What happened is that the way they have been taught, or the way they have been parented, has given them not a consumer mentality, a less than human mentality. There are lots of these mentalities that if we begin to write it out on paper, we will see it clearly. But it is not tagged that when they are being passed through as values, when they are passed through as values from the parents. So you see the average African or Nigerian just wanting to expect a miracle, or just begging and thinking that life is going to change because the average African doesn't want to create anything. And that's what we continue to talk about how creation is going to get us through this. If we want to stop saying debt, what can we do? We have to put from a place of just consuming. So actually, first of all, creating what we consume, then creating what is expected. Why is this important? And this number one, we talk about our economy a lot. I like the other. I will try to do that. If we want good leaders, it has to start from good leaders. I'm so happy that that's what he thinks, and I believe that's what he will be sharing in his family as well. It starts from the family. Many times when we try to bring it back, people say, no, the government, I think the government erupted from the ground. They came out from the family. They were somewhere. It was recently that I was there. I don't know the story, that the vice president was a professor teaching in a university, university when he was called or something like that. So he went to school, he was a citizen, he did this, he did that, he became a professor and he started to teach. So it's not, because you don't just see these people on TV, I think we just think we just families and they do and they were in careers. Just like people who will be leaders in the next 10 years are currently in careers and they are from families. So I'm saying all of this I would say important starting to whatever else we're going to discuss today. For us to just continue to talk to our people around us and continue to be that change we want to take, especially that consuming mentality. Somebody sent me a DM recently that I should give him money. They didn't drop account number. Okay. So I asked him, because can you read? Can you write? He said yes. Recently, I think I've spoken a bit about it here. Not the book, but like my recent writings. The name of the book is Make More Money, where I help African Nigerians learn how to create wealth, because begging is no value. So I tell him the book, but that's what I'm making, and I'm sure I will never hear from him again. When we find how to create value and stop begging. Stop saying you will die. Stop saying this is the last day for you to live. You commit suicide. The person is going to take responsibility. Because many people are going around expecting that Esther owes them, Titi owes them, Stage now. We know nobody owes you. Sorry that your background is the way it is. But it's time for us to rise as Africans and stop having that
entitlement mentality, yes.
I just want to start that because many people, oh my God, okay, so what can you do with your hands? What can you do with your mouth? There's this guy in one of the bridges who sweeps, he cannot walk, but he sweeps. I think the story has gone viral again and again and again. Because you can't just sit down and just be saying, I'm people will help me. No, rather, people will give value to a person who doesn't have legs, but is trying to keep the bridge free. And if I don't know if it's the one, but anyway, because one of the bridges that explain somebody like that, that's the one that we drop money for. That's the one I usually drop money for. Then when I used to pass the bridges, coming back from on air at night. So we just need to really put out this message out there, and I thought it was important for me to speak to it before you go on with the other headlines for today.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we have some of your messages here. Let's take some of your messages here before we go into the next headline. Keep your text and WhatsApp messages coming in on 070 317 56537. This one says, corruption has become our way of life. They have institutionalized and it has become our way of life and no longer a crime. The government is not fighting corruption in any way. It is mere lip service and decorative language. So sad and unfortunate, says Olusoga Ajayi in Odunla Ikorodu. This other message here is from Chuks in Ikeja, and it says, good morning, Titi. Good morning, Esther, Nkechi, and Buki. Good morning to you too, Chuks. This one says, Nigerians should pay attention to what our rulers are doing both in the state and federal levels. Why? Well, because it was on the news this morning that President Muhammadu Buhari will be paying a working visit to Ebonyi State to do what? To commission project that has been completed and named after the current governor, David Umahi, and his wife. And he went ahead to mention some of these projects: King David University dual flyover, Head Bridge, Margaret Umahi Ultra Market. And I challenge the spokesperson of the governor to please explain to people of Ebonyi and Nigerians at large whether this project, quote and unquote, was financed with his personal funds as a former lecturer or He also went ahead to say that Nigerians are good in planning for white elephant projects that ends up in papers and drawing boards, funds wasted on projects that are not for any economic reasons, but rather on political patronage. For instance, over 43 federal are cited in Daura, the president's hometown. Nkechi, what are your thoughts on this particular message? This one that has to do with the governor of Ebonyi State commissioning making projects and commissioning them in his name, the name of the wife, and the Chooks is asking, was this project or any of this project financed with his personal fund?
Okay, well, that is a question to start out from. I believe that when we get the answer to that, we can then now say or critique it appropriately. I'm not sure if it is out yet on who funded the project. Well, most of the time, unfortunately, we usually find, no matter how this thing wants to be covered up, somehow state money happens to be there. And okay, this is almost getting to the final hour when Nigeria don't even care anymore. So whatever, if you want to bring it, I'm sure it will be asked. It's a very question. So let's because you can build anything for yourself and flash your name across it. That's fine. If that is what is the most important thing to you right now. But the one I don't understand, which I really want to clarify, is that the president is going there to commission the project or something like that. I think that's what I was hearing. I just wanted to clarify so I don't assume. And these are some of the things that are the issues, because I don't know what that project is. Maybe later on, after this show, we would can now check to see what the project is. But this is what frustrates the average Nigerian, because there's so much to be done in what I call that my own personal despite electricity. There are a lot of work that still needs to be done in terms of moving. There's still the insecurity we are trying to solve. So I'm not saying that because the security the president should not be locked up in the room and not go anywhere, because that's not realistic. Whether people say it or not, it's not going to be locked up. I'm just sitting down because of all the important things. People want to see that is what is, especially with state funds. So it's not one of these stories that you just shake your head and we just say, okay, well, PVC, and once again, even though I put it again, this 2020 election is not going to be the savior and the ever-present help for Nigeria, but it most likely will be a change. I really hope. I just want a lot of Nigerians to put a lot of personal responsibility, people on themselves first and then people around you, because including local governments and all.
This is survival.